Hi, I just quickly wanted to talk about borderline personality disorder. I recently got diagnosed with it. It Borderline personality disorder is otherwise referred to as BPD. It's a really controversial subject, and it's a really controversial illness to be given. And it's not really a mental illness as such because it's more to do with your personality. I don't really know how I feel about it. It's not, as my therapist said, it's not something that she would ever write down on forms and stuff because it will be stuck with me for life and I will never be able to shake it off because the world is very focused on stigma and this idea that we're all insane and we're all going to murder you, but we're not. We're not that we're not that bad. But yeah, I think I'll just read a list of symptoms that on the internet. So there's frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment, a pattern of unstable and intense interpersonal relationships, which is characterized by alternating between extremes of idealization and devaluation, which means that you can love someone 1 minute and hate them the next, basically. You can go into relationship. It doesn't have to be a relationship with a it doesn't have to be a sexual relationship. It can be a professional relationship. It can just be with friends, and it can be very difficult. It can make relationships very difficult. Identity disturbance, such as significant or persistent unstable self-image or sense of self. So self-esteem, basically. Impulsivity in at least 2 areas that are potentially self-damaging, so substance abuse, reckless driving. The most obvious one that they always use is people who are promiscuous and take part in lots of risky sex acts, for example. Recurrent suicidal behaviour, gestures, threats, or self-mutilating behaviour. I don't agree with that because self-harm is not directly linked with suicidal thoughts, suicidal tendencies, what have you. Emotional instability due to significant reactivity of mood, so episodic dysphoria, irritability or anxiety, and there's another symptom is chronic feelings of emptiness, so feeling numb, feeling disconnected from yourself. Inappropriate intense anger or difficulty controlling anger. Transient stress-related paranoid thoughts or severe dissociative symptoms. So again, just feeling disconnected from yourself. There are more, but on different sites. I think it depends on where you go to. I know a lot of mental health professionals will go, don't trust the internet. But I think a lot of young people, a lot of people in general, find that they don't get given the right kind of information about medication or anything along those lines. And because I think you tend to scare yourself if you read a lot of information about, say you've been put on medication, like the antipsychotic thing that I was talking about in my last video. it kind of scare yourself into thinking, oh my god, I'm going to get this or that, and yeah, so because they have to list every single symptom you've had, and yeah, so like they have to list it, but it's kind of, if they're just not going to tell you these things, then it's kind of pointless in a way. So yeah, so she said that I have borderline personality disorder. Kind of sucks. And yeah, I do get, like, most of the symptoms. I do get a sense of numbness, and I do feel quite depressed, and I do self-harm, and I suppose in the past it was very very damaging, and a lot of my behaviours were very, very damaging, and one of the other things that they say it is manipulative, and I hate that term so much, because I don't think I'm a manipulative person. But I was watching something the other day, and this woman, one of her behaviours that she used to do, as a way of trying to seek that strength and connection with someone, they said it could be seen as manipulative, and I used to do it. So I think people see it very differently. I think when you've got it, when you're doing something, you don't, and say if someone, you think someone's leaving you think very differently. You think you don't see what other people see. I think that's the scary thing as well, because someone else was saying that they feel like there's no way they can get better if they have BPD, because it's a personality disorder and not a mental illness. And mental illness seems like you can get disconnected from yourself, but you cannot disconnect your personality from yourself, because it's you. You're born that way. And they kind of said, well, what's the point? And I kind of felt like that as well after reading that. I kind of felt, well, there's not really a point, but at the end of the day, you don't know there's not a point, because you have to try all the therapies. You have to try as much as you can, and what might work for you one point in your life won't work for you in another, but another thing will. So it's about managing it. I suppose you can't really get rid of mental illness, really. There's not really a cure for it. Then there's ways to manage it, but it's not a cure. It's just trying to be realistic, and you got to find out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, realise when you're having a difficult time, realise, when to be kind to yourself and say, okay, I'm having a bad time, I can get through this. But still trying. And still trying to manage throughout. It's a difficult thing, it really is. It's a crappy thing. But everyone does it. And if we wouldn't have got up every single time we fell down when we were younger and trying to walk, we wouldn't be here now. Bye.